tres, cuatro.
Hey.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lady Gwendolyn's Divination Night. I am Lady Gwendolyn, and tonight my special guest is Miss Sandie Star. How are you, honey?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Oh, we're here when we're ready to go.
We are here.
I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about you tonight and let everybody have a chance to get to know you.
Well, there isn't much to me.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Australia. So, yeah, my parents are European, but they immigrated to Australia. And I came to live here well and truly over 20 years ago, like maybe 23 years ago. I started working on Keen in Australia. I was one of the first people to start on Keen over there. And it was exciting. And I was working for another psychic network at that time called Informital, which is also like a platform. But that what they would do was have their own psychic advisors, and they would what's the word? I can't host or own other lines, or people would buy lines off them and start their own platform. It's kind of I don't know what word to use to describe that. Yeah. But that was good. I was their mascot over there. I was their little mascot. I'd be on the commercials and did the newspaper interviews and that kind of stuff. So and they did really dumb commercials. They would dress me up with black wigs and all sorts of,
Oh no.
Yeah. Like, but I do actually have a crystal ball, a real one. And but they compensated by giving me a crystal ball, but I left that in Australia because it was way too heavy to bring over to the United States. But I bought a new crystal ball. And I never really use it, but I have to have one. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Well, I have one, but I have yet to figure out how to tap into that.
Well, it's kind of like I'd imagine. I mean, I have tried to tap in. I feel like I did on a couple of occasions. That was way back in the day, and I would light a candle, the old usual incense candle. It'd be a white candle to get a lot of positive energy flowing through. And like when I was taught to read the tarot cards, I was actually taught by a neighbor when I was a kid. And I was like maybe 15, maybe even younger. And there was this neighbor, she's a woman used to hang around just to read tarot cards and smoke, and I smoke now and everything. I said, how do you do that? And she said, just look at the cards and tell me what they make you feel. Not the book. Don't read any books. What they make you feel is the answer. And that really stayed with me. And I kind of figured that's how I would read the crystal ball. Look at it and let it send me energy and see how it makes me feel and see what I see when I look at it. It doesn't cloud over or it doesn't do anything weird. But there's sort of an energy. It's kind of like when my psychic abilities, it's like an energy I get when I talk to people. I start to pick up on their energy, like an empath, almost like an empath. I am a bit of an empath, but I don't like to be. So I try and avoid being that because I pick up too many feelings. Otherwise, as I've gotten older, I've truly have well adjusted to my gift and my abilities. Because when I was younger, it used to freak me out completely. It got a bit too overwhelming at times, but now I've got it down. I've got it down, so I don't have to worry about it now. But it's a growth experience. So that's what I did in Australia. And I came over. We migrated to the United States, and I continued on with Keen over here. And I had to let go of Informital because they're not global. They're just purely in Australia. So that was kind of sad goodbye because I was with them for several years, and that was kind of sad. And it was like a divorce.
Yeah.
And so that was, but I've continued with Keen ever since, and here I am. I used to, in Australia, I was actually watching you and Regina a little bit, and I don't do in the United States. I do not do parties. I do not do weddings. I do not. But in Australia, I did do all of that. But over here,
Okay.
yeah, in New York City, it's kind of a different dynamic being New York City. So I wouldn't feel safe really hopping onto parties like I used to and be all comfortable with it. And, because even when I lived in Australia, in Melbourne was a nice little town, and I knew everybody, and I felt comfortable. And you live in West Virginia, and it's kind of the same kind of vibe and atmosphere. I don't know where Regina is, but New York City is completely different. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to party or
I
whatever.
completely
Yeah,
I
yeah,
completely understand that. Yeah.
yeah. I also remember you saying to Regina, you like to look at the groom's face when the bride comes out to see his.
Yes. Isn't that the most
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, it is. And not only for that reason, but also to read them later, to guide you through their marriage,
yeah.
to read. And I also, when I have done weddings, I've done the guests and their faces and the in-laws' faces to get an idea of who's happy and who's not happy,
Right.
who's crying out of happiness, who's crying out of sheer despair.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
constantly looking around. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And now that makes sense as to why I'm doing that. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that would be why you're doing it, because you've got that energy, and you've got that gift, and you're going to be vibing into everything around you, I'd imagine. So you'll be picking up all sorts of energies. You're looking here and there, and what draws you to the groom's face. That's interesting, because not only are you looking at his happiness, or he's in awe of this beautiful bride coming down, you're looking for other things. I mean, these grooms aren't necessarily always happy in that moment.
No, true.
Yeah, so that made me think a lot when you said that. I didn't get to watch all of the stream with you and Regina. I had to go and do some other stuff, but
Yeah.
I watched to get an idea, and just to watch Regina, and I knew she needed that, and it was good to see her flower.
Absolutely. All that
Yeah,
support. Yeah.
yeah, she's an amazing woman. I wanted to see her flower and feel good about who she is, and I adore you. I watch all your TikToks. I got a
Thank you.
mention in one of them, and so
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
advertised for the show tonight
yeah.
over on
And I've
TikTok. Yeah.
still got to get my stuff out. I got that special camera stand thing with the light on it. I've still got to get
Mhm.
it out and open it and actually use it. So
You'll get the hang of it.
I will. Yeah,
Um, so going back a little bit, so you were talking about, being an empath, and you really wish that you wasn't. How do you manage to shield yourself? How do
that's
you
just.
manage to block that?
I just do it almost consciously. Like when I was younger, if someone was really super attracted to me, I'd get like this urge and attracted to them. And I started thinking, well, why am I attracted to this person? I'd want to think it through. And so it's to do with age as well, and experience. You start to realize, or I began to realize, I don't know how I did it. It was obviously some unconscious mechanism that was going on in the back of my mind, of divorcing myself from that person in some way, like recognizing that's not me, that attraction's not me, that's that person. And then I was able, actually, that was a good thing, because I was able to do that. How, I don't know. I just think it came from determination of not wanting to feel that same feeling. Because when I'm, well, my empathic experiences, I begin to feel the same way they do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's not a good thing. If they're sad, they're attracted, or some sexual weird deviance things going on, it would start impacting on me, and I needed to unload that off me. And I think it was an unconscious mechanism that made me separate myself. I still feel it, but it's interesting because now when I feel it, I feel it in an objective way. So I really understand the person I'm dealing with in a very special kind of way now, which can scare the hell out of me, or make me cry for them, or make me want to take $10 out of my wallet and buy them something to eat.
Yeah.
And it's like that kind of feeling now. Now I can be more objective with it and put it and categorize it where it belongs, and how to protect myself as well. It's interesting. It's very interesting. So it makes me want to keep away from people I think could be a little bit dangerous, or help people that I feel really, obviously, really need it. And I'm able to discriminate that way. I'm able to sort of figure out very easily who needs what and what to do. It's very interesting. Very interesting. So actually, there was a bizarre experience that I had a few years ago before the big lockdowns and everything happened at my grandson's school. Prior to the shutdown, his school was shut down for 2 years. So this was probably about a year before that. One of his teachers was kind of weird. He had like an attraction to me. It was really strange. And it freaked me out. It was kind of like I was able to do what I couldn't do for a long time. I was able to divorce myself, stand back, and look at his attraction, what that meant, how he was defining it in his mind, and it wasn't good. To the point where he actually stalked me a little bit, and so that was interesting. And I got a bad vibe when my grandson went back to school when the lockdown was over. Almost within a month of that, there was a strange energy around my whole environment, and it really put me on tenterhooks. Like my adrenaline was high, and I was like making sure that no one was around me, and then eventually that went away, and I was good. I'm good. When I was younger, I used to get stalked a lot in Australia.
Wow.
That was scary as hell. Yeah,
Okay, so that brings me to a question. Do
sure.
you find that those of us that really hone in on our gifts have a brighter light, and that's the moss to the flame?
Exactly. Yes, it is. It's glowing, and kids really see it. Kids see it, and kids always are staring at me. I go some of the kids there, they're like glued, eyes glued, and they cannot get their eyes off me. And I end up talking to them and chatting with them because I know what they're seeing.
Yeah.
And it's and and animals, dogs in particular. I know it sounds crazy, but dogs and children, they really tune into me. Like I could be the most vicious dog, and I'll be there, and that dog will walk up to me like it's known me all its life and love me and snuggle and want to snuggle. And same with the kids, they'll just stare at me and want to get close to me and not take their eyes off me for a second. That's that energy. But that
Yeah.
same energy freaks out adults.
Oh, yeah.
It intimidates them, especially men.
Yeah.
Men get freaked out.
Mine are babies. Like, babies lock, like, zone in on me.
Yeah,
And I mean, sometimes it gets a little uncomfortable.
it
I mean,
does. Because
what do you do? I mean,
I
you
know, because
can't
the
just walk up to the family.
parents start staring at you in a weird way. What are you doing to my kid? And him on my own business. Yeah, it's really weird. So children and animals, and horses, cats. I have a cat. I used to always have a black cat, and that sounds typical and
Mm.
cliched. But my last black cat unfortunately died as a sad death. She was euthanized. It was anyway. But my daughter, it was my daughter's turn to choose a cat, a replacement cat, and she wanted a Siamese cat. We went to the RSPCA, and ironically, there was a Siamese cat. There was a female Siamese, and she was white with the black, typical Siamese. What's crazy about this cat we have now is that she's changed colors. She's darker now. And I always keep saying, because I had a German Shepherd as well, and she's got all the colors of all our pets in her. And I keep saying all the souls of all our other pets are now in our cat. This cat has become very special and very magical because now she's picked up the energy from all our other pets that I've loved. And they're all in her, and that's why she's changing color. And that sounds insane, like I should be certified. That's how I see it, you know. She's
Yeah.
got black, and she's got tan, she's got, you know, gray and beige and this and that, and it's a mixture of all our. It's got orange, and the dog was black and tan. I had an orange cat, I had a black cat. And black cats, I always had to have a black cat, and this is the first time I don't have one. Very first time, you know.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, and that's how I see her. She's got everything in her. Like she has this special aura about her. It's interesting. But she's my little familiar, so she's with me every day, all day.
I have mine too, so
Yes, they're very
I
important.
can't get her to leave me alone, but she's not a cuddler.
No,
She and I are not cuddlers, and the only time that I cuddle with her is just to irritate her, just to annoy, because I
that's my
like to
cat.
adore.
That must be
Like,
something consistent with who we are, because my cat's exactly the same. She won't let me be, but she's next to me all the time, won't leave me alone, but she will not snuggle me. She will not get on my lap, and you know, must be something. And she attacks me a lot.
mhm.
She wants to attack you. Yeah.
A little bit, just whenever I instigate, because otherwise it's just let me just lay near you.
Oh no,
So,
mine attacks me. I'd be walking across the living room and suddenly I'm attacked.
oh, my girl's chunky. My
Uh,
girl's chunky. So she doesn't really do much. She's never really been playful. She's never really been one for toys or anything like that.
really,
She's just been real chill.
what color is she? Black, right?
She's white and
Oh,
it's like black and tan armor, because it's like
oh,
she has a helmet and she has what looks like armor around her shoulders and her back and her
it's
tail.
cute, cute, very cute. I love cats.
She's my
Love
boyer
dogs.
kitty.
Yeah, yeah. So we have.
She's fierce on the inside.
What's her name? What's her name?
Matilda Jane, but I call her Maddie.
Nice.
Yeah.
My cat's got a Polish name. I'm half Polish, and I called
Okay.
her Schminky or Schminka, which means lipstick in Polish. And that's a crazy name, but she looks like a Schminka. I'm insane, by the way. Like,
That's cute.
yeah. So that's her name, and it means lipstick. So, and I cannot
Cute.
speak Polish at all. I'm half Polish, half Swedish, and I cannot speak any Polish or Swedish. A little bit of German, smattering of German. It, English is my language. That's all I have. Where do you like? What's your ancestry?
So my father's side is European, um, and then down to Germany. And then my mother's side is straight from Germany.
Oh, so there's interesting.
So
So what part of
primarily
yeah,
comes from
yeah.
Germany, yeah.
So what nationality your dad? What part of Europe did he come from?
So it's English, just
Oh,
England,
British
Scottish.
UK. Oh, okay, UK.
There's some
Yeah,
Scottish in there, some Welsh.
yeah. And my daughter's got a Welsh name, at Bryn. It's a Welsh name apparently. Bryn.
Gwendolyn is a
So
Welsh
also
name.
is also a Welsh name. Yeah.
Mm.
I love the name Gwendolyn. My brother had a girlfriend called Gwendolyn. And I was very young, and I thought she was the best thing that ever happened to planet Earth. Until I hear your name, I was thinking of her. Gwendolyn, I love that name.
We
Yeah.
can be very pleasant and we can be very bad at the same time.
No, it's a good name. You're a
Yeah.
good woman, like Gwendolyn. You're a
It
very good woman.
means and it means shining white light.
Exactly.
Shining.
And it suits you down perfect. You are a shining white light.
Thank
So it
you.
suits you perfectly. It suits you.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. It
Yeah.
it's really hard, and I've kind of noticed this because my speciality, say my thing that I do is trauma and tarot and things like that, and have talks about things, a little dark.
Yeah.
Um, but one thing that I've been processing lately is that I am okay giving love, but I have a hard time accepting love.
Not a good receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because I have a really hard time maybe like accepting that I deserve it.
Exactly. So
So
you say about trauma, you say you specialize in trauma?
yeah, like my work is shadow work, and it
Yeah.
is digging in there. I'm not afraid to like go deep with someone
Right.
that are down in their shadows to help bring
Yeah.
them out. That's the work that
Exactly.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. So I deal with a lot, I've dealt with and deal with a lot of trauma. Traumatic. I used to be, before I settled into just as being a psychic, I used to be a psychologist. I retired from that in my 40s, early 40s, and I dealt with a lot of traumatic, trauma, and still do deal with, even just in everyday readings, we do deal with a lot of
Yeah.
trauma. And shadow work is really important. I was actually looking at getting back into that, like getting back into looking at that and getting some a deck, shadow deck, those questions of self awareness and how to deal with it. But it is a very deep, goes deep, But your feeling of feeling undeserving of love does not come from what you do for your work. It comes from what you've experienced growing up,
Mm.
and it feels like you've experienced trauma and a lot of negativity, a lot of negative reinforcement, a lot of negativity, not being heard, not being listened to, not being believed, that cause even more trauma, more difficulty, and now you don't trust love. It's like
Mhm.
I feel like you don't deserve it, you just don't trust it because you've been told you're loved, and then that same person will behave as if they don't love you. So
Yeah.
that's also comes from the lack of trust of love. But you're giving and you're loving because you don't want to see anyone else go through what you've been through. So you're vulnerable to people who are in pain. You want to be there and you want to love them. And it's understandable that you don't trust love.
Mhm.
But
I'm known for my hugs. Everyone says I give the best hugs, but
yeah,
when someone goes to hug me, I'm like,
back off. Yeah, that's collective trust, which is understandable what you've been
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
And the person that comes into your life that's going to love you is going to have to be patient and understand that you need to learn to trust them, and they've got to let you trust them.
Yeah.
That's how trust evolves, because they've got to behave in a way that's going to help you develop trust for them, and it's a two-way street.
Oh
So they've
yeah.
got to be transparent. They've got to reinforce you. They've got to, give you as much reassurance as you need. And unfortunately, in this world that we live in, people get impatient. They don't want to be reassuring. They don't want to be not trusted. They don't want to be accused of anything. And they get all defensive and carry on like maniacs. And then and they don't realize when they're doing that, they're destroying everything that you're trying to do. They're
Yeah.
destroying it. And it makes you want to then move deeper away and further introspective and further into yourself and put a
Mhm.
bigger barrier up. And that's what I feel that you've been through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've been through it.
Um,
And
yeah.
I gave up on relationships over 20. I don't have relationships anymore. I gave up on them over 20 years ago. mean, if my grandson or my daughter saw me with a man, they'd probably freak. The boyfriend, like a romantic relation. I have my cat, my family, that's it, my friends, that's it. I'm happy, you know.
Absolutely. I get
Yeah.
it. So what is the biggest problem that you like your clientele, people that are drawn to you? What seems to be their biggest issue that they bring to you?
Relationships.
Mm.
It's always relationships is always the biggest what can I say, journey for them. They just can't maneuver or understand their relationship and the dynamic of their relationship. And they fall into sort of repetitive patterns, and so all their relationships become the same. Like, 'cause they can't and they don't understand why it keeps going wrong, what the issue is, or what. And that's both men and women. It's everybody in relationships, anyone, any kind of relationship, any kind of relationship dynamic, romantic relationship dynamic. So, you know, it comes down to a lot of people allowing their insecurities and their fears to overwhelm them. And when they allow that to happen, they become controlling. They become controlling not because they're evil, not because they're trying to do like lock them in the basement and tie them up and whatever, but because they're afraid of getting hurt. So they feel if they're controlling this person, they can't get hurt. And then that backfires because they start trying to control that person, they alienate that person. Hence, the relationship falls apart. So I'm always trying to get them to feel good about who they are and to trust and feel safe to trust someone and take that risk. That way, things will start to get more positive. And there's the old thing of fake it till you make it. They say, well, I'm so, I want to ask questions. I'm so scared. And I said, look, when they're around you, feel good, feel positive, and make good memories, make positive memories. And even if you're faking it, you're making for a good night, and they're going to come back and see you again because now they've left with good memories, positive memories. They're going to come back, they're going to come back, and it's going to get better and better. If every time you see this person, it's full of insecurities and accusations and arguments and stress, then they're going to keep further away. They're going to back off more and more and more and more. And
Yeah, that's not
everyone's
gonna go well.
yeah, everyone's guilty of it. Everyone has that. Everyone has insecurities. Everyone has all those feelings of jealousy. It's how we deal with them and to what degree we have them. But everyone has the same issue. You know, we all feel fear. We all feel fear. As soon as our emotions are involved, the fear sets in because we know we can get hurt. So
Yeah.
it's scary. Relationships are scary.
All the way around.
All the way around. And men are guilty of women. There's no one sex or anyone to blame. Like you can't say, oh, they all like this or they're all like that. It's people in general.
Yeah. So do you think it's fair to say that it's just a general lack of trust?
Trust is the major thing, but then again, I'm of the point of view as why would you have to trust someone? Trust needs to be earned. Trust is not something you just automatically do, right? Because
Mhm.
then it becomes conflicting because you say, why do you trust that person when they ripped you off with $50,000 on some internet thing, right? So, right. So trust, right? You want me to? Yeah, trust has to be earned. Trust is a word that gets bandied around like a relationship with never works. You don't trust me. Well, no, because if you're not going to let me learn to trust you, it's never going to work. People in relationships need to be transparent. They need to let people have the reassurance they need. They need to let them be able to see their phone. You know, there's certain barriers that need to be brought down and allowing each other to say, look, if you're having trust issues with me, you think I'm screwing around, you think I'm doing all of this, you think I'm texting some ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, here's my phone. Be brave, because as soon as you start hiding things and you start getting defensive or stuff like that goes on, then a lack of trust builds up. As soon as one is transparent, there's nothing wrong with letting your partner know that you love everything about you and where you are. There's nothing wrong with that. People, for some reason, it's a problem. It's not a problem. It's only a problem if it gets too extreme. If it's extreme, like, where are you going? What are you doing? Who are you with? Who did you talk to today? What time? What took you 5 minutes longer to get home? No, that's wrong. That's controlling. That's wrong. That's dominating. That's being ridiculous. But an idea, like, you said hello to Joe there. How is Joe? And yes, I be brave. Yes, I went and saw my friend after work for 5 minutes to see how they were doing, whatever. Don't try and lie about stuff. Be open, be transparent, even if you think that lie is going to kill them. It's not, because ironically, telling the truth hurts way less than lying does. And usually when people are hurt from someone cheating, it's not so much the cheating, it's the lying about it all. Because now you've invested 5 months of your life in this idiot who spent 5 months lying to you about who they are. So the lying is what devastates people. They would have said, I met someone else, or yes, I did this, and I'm sorry. If you don't forgive me, whatever, forgive me, whatever. Be brave, because the truth usually makes things better. It's scary, but it actually works. The truth actually does work. And of course, there are the white lies that everyone tells. But the difference between a white lie and a black lie is a black lie is when you tell someone or a person a lie, it makes them change their whole lifestyle for you and invest their life into you and their time into you, which they'll never get back. That's a black lie. A white lie is you had an ice cream you weren't supposed to that day, and you say, oh, yeah, I didn't have an ice cream, you had one, right? That's different. It doesn't do anything to anybody except you, right? But a black lie is one that can really screw someone's life up in a really bad way. So, because I'm all for people's time is very valuable. So, if people, because we're only here once, we don't get any do-overs, we don't know what's in the great beyond. We really don't know. We have an idea that there's an energy. We know there's energy that we give off. But we don't know what that energy feels like. We haven't lived it yet. We haven't experienced that energy yet. So, there's no do-over of life as we know it. And so the time we have is very valuable. There are no do-overs. So we need to really try our best to make the life that we have now as valuable and as important as possible, and don't waste people's time.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So it's all about taking the risk.
It's about taking risks. You got to take the risk and trust. Take a deep breath. It's the only way you can do it. You're freezing up a little bit. You froze. You're back.
Yeah, I know. I know it has.
Yeah. So try taking the risk and trusting someone. But you see, you've got look. One thing I'll say with us psychics, we're all our little gifts that come under the umbrella of psychic, is that we have trouble holding down relationships. We do, because we sense too much.
Yeah.
Like, no one's ever been able to get away with anything with me. Like, I'm sure the same thing with you. It's been, and you're onto them, and then you realize, oops, they freak. I don't think psychics can have good relationships. It's hard enough as it is if you're not psychic. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Just sensing everything that's going on, and it freaks people out. It really does.
Yeah.
We don't have good relationships.
I've noticed that I've started doing that. Like I know when the energy's off. I'm pinpointing things. So is it childhood trauma, being hyper aware? Is it psychic? Is it mixture of everything? Like,
I think it's a mixture of everything, because I went through a lot of trauma when I was a kid. I was very messed up. And I think we became so aware of our environment. We had to be psychic to survive. We had to know. We had to have the instinct, be intuitive, to survive, because
Yeah.
when I was a kid, we had there was nothing, none of the technology we have today,
No.
you know, and
No.
you had evil people around you, like you had to, I don't know. I don't know what gave me I was either born with my gift or you were, and I don't know, but I had a tough time growing up, and you had a tough time growing up. I don't know.
Yeah. It almost makes you wonder if, if we have to go through that, if it's like almost like a rite of passage for us to understand and be able to help others.
You might be right about that, because look what we do now. Our whole life revolves around like helping people and getting them
Yeah.
through very tough situations and guiding them through. So you might be right about that, because other psychics that I know also have had
Yeah.
traumatized childhoods that have been horrifying, and I'm thinking, oh my God, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that gives us that, I got, like, when I was young, I got so psychic at one point where I was doing spells, and it got really big and overwhelming, and now I've calmed down from all of that. I don't get into all of that as much as I did. And a friend of mine said maybe it's because you've got to a point where you don't need to anymore. You just think it and it happens. Like, you're
Oh
able to
yeah.
just do it, like, without having to go through the whole ritual. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true, because
You become a power manifester,
right.
and anything you think or do just automatically comes into existence because you've developed this connection with that source energy,
Mhm.
so it's just instantaneous.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say, there's a couple of things I thought for my grandson and for my daughter have happened. Okay, that this needs to happen, and it happened. I'm not, when it comes to doing it for ourselves, it's a whole different ball game.
Oh yeah.
It's never easy for ourselves, but for other people, it's always good. It works for other people. So maybe it is that little or twitch of the nose they can't do. Thing. I could never get that twitch going, but like,
I would love it. I
me
wish I
too. It'd
had
be so cool. Me too. I wish I was that powerful, where I could like a new house, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, I often say to people who actually call me that say they've been cursed or whatever, I said there is no one that really is powerful enough that in your circle that can curse you in an effective kind of way. What they can do is scare you into believing that you've been cursed. But I said to curse people is you need to be a very powerful witch in order to be able to, and then anyone that powerful isn't going to do it, because it's going to come back on them tenfold, and then they've got to do all this protection stuff in order to not for it to come back. So you're most likely not cursed. So,
I mean, it's heartbreaking for me to see how many people actually think that.
I know it is heartbreaking because they're
And
scared. Yeah,
and then there are people out there that are doing, spells and stuff for them to like release it. Yeah, I understand that gives them peace of mind. That's what they're paying for.
yeah,
But at the same time, I feel like that's wrong.
it's wrong. Well, see, what I don't like, and this is where we got a bad name, is there are people out there claiming that they're psychic, and they go see them and say, "Oh, these horrible things are happening," they scare you, and then so I'm going to charge you $20,000 to go and give you light a white candle for you, right? But give me a break.
Oh yeah.
If I had anyone that was going through anything like that, and I needed to reassure them, and a new lighted candle is going to make them feel better, I'll light a candle. Well, I'm going to buy a 50-cent candle. I'm not even going to charge them for it, right? It's just, I'm just going to tell them,
Exactly.
look, you're not cursed. There's no anything on you. But if you want me to cleanse you of anything, this is how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to light a little candle and sit here and talk to you and hold your hand, and that's it. You're not cursed. Curse off. That's it. It's gone. And I do that over the
Yeah.
phone. I do that in chat. Like, you're not cursed. And I said, stop
Yeah.
giving your money away. Use it to buy vacation. Use it to whatever you want to use it for. But don't give it to
Take
that
a
whoever it
spa
is.
day.
Yeah,
Treat
it's
yourself.
you're not cursed. You have a bit of bad luck. We all have a bit of bad luck. I'll give them one of
Yeah.
my experiences. There you go. Your car broke down. My car broke down. You know, these things happen. You know, and
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you're cursed. It just means that that's what happened that night. That's it, or that day.
Yeah.
And so I'm reassuring. But there was a reader on Keen. I've not heard about her for a long time. I don't know who it was. I believe even was it her? Could have been a him. I don't know. They
Okay.
kept telling people that they were cursed. I don't know what her game or his game was. But it was
Wow.
got to a point where I was forever reassuring people. They get to me like, oh, this guy. I said, no, you're fine. You're safe. There's positive energy around you. You're good. You're in a good place. Don't worry. Sleep well. It's all good. I'll be constantly reassuring people. And I don't know who that person is or even if they're still with Keen anymore, but it was whatever was going on, they were really bad. They were
Hmm.
constantly scaring people. And I bet you anything that they were charging people for those spells, like
Oh
thousands
yeah.
of
Well,
dollars.
that's probably why we have so many rules in place now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had
I
a
mean, and some of
yeah,
them are stupid. It's like, but why? And apparently someone has done them before.
yeah. Like in Australia, there was a girl I used to work with over there for that other company in Formital, and she would literally charge someone. She said, "I'm going to go to the cemetery and I'm going to do this spell in the cemetery and all this jazz," and charge them thousands of dollars to do this. She wouldn't do anything. What cemetery? Won't go anywhere. I got really annoyed with her. I got really, really annoyed with her, and you know, so I'm like, I can't be an acquaintance with you because I don't operate that way, and I don't think you should be operating that way. But she did it. She was doing it. She may well still be doing it for all I know. I don't speak to her anymore, but you know, ridiculous things that she would tell people. You
Yeah.
know, and I mean, what are you doing? It's crazy, crazy things are going out there.
Yeah, yeah. There are things that definitely should not be going on, and now everybody is a professional, and it's scary.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are gifted people. I see you in that boat. I see myself. I see Regina. I see even Ace and everyone we know that
Yeah,
are gifted. You know,
yeah.
but there are people that just do not. They're not. They get the tarot. They buy a deck of cards and they get the little book out and they read straight from the book and they have no feeling or empathy with the card at all.
No.
Zero empathy with the cards. And like I was in Barnes and Noble, for example, and I bought 3 new decks. Well, I bought 2 new decks of tarot cards and 1 deck of affirmation cards. And I chose those decks by how I felt about those decks.
Hmm.
I was I was kind of going over them. And this girl next to me and was kind of staring at them, you know, I'm looking at them. And I bought 3 and she bought 0. And when I went to go pay for it, the guy said, "Oh, what do you think about tarot card collection?" I said, "Well, it's really good." He goes, "Oh, because the person before you thought it wasn't good." So I don't know, it was really good. I had trouble choosing, but I chose what I thought were 2 really good decks and an
Hmm.
affirmation deck. Oh, yeah, no, your cards are good. You got these good cards there because I felt them. I feel the energy of them.
Hmm.
I got the crystal thing, crystal. I can see them,
Okay.
and I got these. We haven't opened, I haven't used yet. And these are the affirmation tarot, which is not affirmations as like affirmations. They,
I
yeah,
I feel like I've heard of that before.
yeah. And then I got just these affirmation cards, which are actual affirmations by
Okay,
Louise
good.
Hay. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love crystals and I'm into using crystals. I don't sell crystals. I tell people buy them if you want to buy them. They're cheap. You know, the different things that help you. Like I tell them, go buy one, soak it in salt water overnight, like 24 hours or overnight, dry it off, put it in your bag, put it in your purse, put it wherever on your person somewhere. Buy various crystals for various things, and that helps your energy throughout the day. Affirmation helps too. Reinforces whatever the readings, if it's the positive side of the reading, that'll reinforce it. You can manifest with it. I see where it keeps going out. You can manifest.
Sorry.
Oh, no, why are you
We're just
sorry?
talking away.
No, it's me talking too much as per usual. But yeah, so but I like you when I give a reading, those crystal cards can also like help me choose a crystal for that person in particular to use. Because the readings, all the cards have different crystals up, but there's one that might impact on me more than another. So I say, I'll buy this crystal, go get that one, like a rose quartz, for example, for love, or and that and so on and so forth. That I was like, these crystals are fairly inexpensive, and they can go and get them online anywhere, and so I don't feel too bad telling them to go buy one.
No,
So,
that's right.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah, yeah,
I do crystal healing as well.
yeah,
I incorporate that in with my energy healing. So
yeah,
I totally get it. This
yeah.
whole area back here is crystals.
Yeah, I used to have all of that, but I used to have but since I moved to the United States, everything changed. I
Mhm.
don't have all that kind of. I had this beautiful spell book once. It was velvet cover on it. It was beautiful, and so certain things I had to leave behind, certain things I bought here, but I can't find the same stuff here that I could find in
Mhm.
Australia. But I might be going to Salem in Massachusetts in May. So, and Salem's got some good little stores in it apparently that
Mhm.
have all that stuff, and maybe I'll be able to find some interesting stuff there as well. But I used to have a whole thing, and now I just got a whole thing of Star Trek. I'm also a big Trekkie.
Oh, really? So that's
Yeah,
your thing.
yeah, like that's my dad's fault. God bless his soul. He great guy. Both my parents are deceased. I'm an orphan. But when I was all of I think 12 years old, 1966, my dad said, "Sit down, watch this with me." And we had the black and white TV and no remote control. It's like
Yep.
rotary phone, and I watched it with him, and I was like completely in awe of Star Trek, and so was he. And we had to watch it every week. Like really, it was a whole routine. My mum would bring snacks out and everything, and she wasn't. I don't know if she was interested or not, because it was just a him and me thing.
Yeah.
And I'd sit down between his legs on the floor, and he'd be feeding me food. Just putting things in my mouth. Like,
Great
food.
bonding time.
Yeah,
Right.
and we're watching this Star Trek, and I've been a big Trekkie ever since. And my dad was convinced there was a starship up there already. And what was weird about Star Trek, when they had a flat screen TV in that show, it was 1966. They had a flat screen TV, they had like a flip phone communicator. They had pads, like iPads type things, self-opening things that we, talking to watching someone and talking to them, seeing their face was unheard of. Like we'd make jokes about it. Can you imagine if we could actually call someone and see their face, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And we were kids, were here, never happened. Look at us today. Look
Yeah.
today, and now today they're even talking about aliens openly on TV today.
Yeah.
And thinking, oh wow. So maybe my dad was right. Maybe he was right. Maybe he knew something I didn't know. And because he was also in law enforcement, because he lived in Poland. He was Swedish, but grew up in Poland. That's when I met my mother. And he was in like what would be equal to the FBI, but in Poland, Polish version of whatever that would be. So I'm sure he
Okay.
got into whatever he had. He was privy, I guess, to whatever was
Information.
information, like classified stuff. So
Yeah.
and he was like, without a shadow of a doubt, there was a lot of stuff going on that we did not know about, but he was confident that it was going on. It was a very interesting guy to talk to, my dad. He was a big Trek. Oh my God. He would have loved going to the Star Trek conventions and whatnot. He would have been in awe of that. He would have loved it. So he was a very interesting person.
Good.
So yeah, so that's all I have now is my tricky thing. I have my cards, my tarot cards. I have other tarot cards as well. I do have a small shelf of tarot cards.
It's an addiction. It is an addiction. So since you brought that up, I have a small announcement to make. I just got 4 new decks.
Oh wow! I think you mentioned
Uh,
one of your TikToks. You mentioned one of them in
yes,
one of your TikToks. Yes.
three Oracle and 1 Tarot. And on March 11th and March 18th, I am going to. Those are Monday nights. At
Yes.
8 p.m. and I'm going to go live, and I'll have 2 decks on the 11th and the other 2 decks on the 18th. And
Wow.
I'm just going to like unbox them and share them and
I'm gonna watch your live. I'm gonna
do
watch your
some
live.
readings. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited. Like
Yeah. I'm very excited
I
too.
took
I
them
saw
out
you.
and looked at them, and I just put them back in, and one of them, you ever
Wow.
have that one deck that just by looking at it that it is going to be brutal?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
my rider deck. That never leaves my side. It sleeps with me every night. That one, for some reason, and it's still like brand new. You know how old this deck is? It's like 30 years old.
Wow.
And it's still, the cards are still like brand new. It's weird. They're not even
That's
slightly
amazing.
dented or anything. They've been so used. And I bought the little pouch for them, a little kind of little store in the village. A
Yeah,
little, it's got a, if you see the wolf howling at the moon. But
that's cute.
yeah, and for some reason, this rider deck has, I got it in Australia, and I brought it with me because I was able to fit it in my bag. It's this so old, and it's like brand new. It's like they've
Wow.
never been used. It's weird. And they're my special deck. The second one is the crystals, and I have other decks. I can't remember the name. One's my animal, the animal around it, spirit animals.
Oh yeah.
How do it? Another one is like a golden. I can't remember what it's called. Asian one. I can't remember the names. They're all on the shelf there. My daughter's rearranged about 20,000 times. So we didn't
Well,
do it
okay.
these, but yeah, my rider weight are my go-to. They're very powerful deck. Second of the crystals. The other ones are pretty good too. I'm gonna watch you. So it's this Monday night, right? This coming
Yes,
Monday
coming
at
up
8 o'clock.
on Monday night will be the first one, and
That's
this is just a March thing. I just want to get these out there because I'm just really excited.
so
Um,
night, 8 o'clock, right?
yes,
8 Eastern
Monday
Standard.
nights at 8 o'clock. We'll just do 2 consecutive in honor of Ostara. The
Yeah.
welcoming of spring finally.
Yes. Yes. So
And
I'll be there. Yeah.
It's Irish spring festivals around here.
Oh,
We're gearing
really?
up for those Celtic festivals.
Really? Oh,
Hmm.
there's nothing in New York City like that going on. Nothing. Just concrete, buildings, the park. That's it. No, nothing, nothing,
That's,
nothing.
that's
I'll be watching you on Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern
yes.
Standard
Come
Time.
join me. Come join
I
me.
will. I will. I will.
Okay, so we will wrap this up. So I put your keen link, in the comment section.
Thank you.
And in the description are, I think, your Keen link and your Instagram link, so people can find you there. If they go to your Keen link, what are they going to find?
They're going to find my life path listing,
Hmm.
and that to get, and they can just request a chat or call me. They're going to find me. They're going to either chat with me over the phone or chat with me in chat, and it'll be good. I mean, that's what they're going to find. They're going to find me doing my best to help them get through and understand and that the
So
outcome.
you are in Eastern Standard Time. So
Oh,
you're
I'm
in
Eastern Standard
Georgia.
Time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
So
in New York
what
City.
are your hours that
So
you
I
are
work
available?
from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week, and I do take a break through the day around 3-ish for about an hour, 3:30, 3 to 4:30-ish, around that time-ish. So if you can't get me, try again later. But 11, I usually log on a bit earlier. Very occasionally I'm late, very rarely I'm late. And I stay until 10, but sometimes I stay on later than 10. I might, so, but they're the set, like between 11 a.m., 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
So that's me.
All right. Well, Sandie, thank you very much. I'm sorry nobody stopped on here to get a reading,
Oh, no
but
one
you
can,
read
yeah.
me pretty well, so we'll take it.
Right. I was
So,
already.
all right. So, thank you all very much, and we will see you next. I will see you Monday night
Yes,
for our special episode, and then back on Wednesday night on March 13th with Tracy Van. Tracy was on the show last season, and we just loved her so much I had to have her back again.
I'll have to watch that
So
one. I'll watch that one.
yes.
Definitely. We'll get
So
on.
we'll see you all
You have to
then.
remind
Have a
send me
good night.
reminders. Send me reminders.
Okay.
Send me
All right.
reminders.
Well,
Yeah. Have a great night. Take care,
thank
everybody.
you
See
guys.
you later.
Good night.
Good night.